New ads are apparently being prepared to run against Bernie Sanders in the near future, and not necessarily from the groups that you would immediately expect to be doing this, especially so early in this process. I want you to take a look at a tweet that we saw from Brendan James, who tweeted the Dem Super-PAC Women's Vote is preparing an anti-Bernie TV campaign next week, calling Bernie and Trump the same person. And attached there was an image, apparently leaking some of the prep for the ad, saying the ad fools the viewer at the top into believing that we are talking about Trump. The truth that is revealed is that we are talking about Sanders. And so apparently that is going to come. Now, this group Women's Vote is part of the pro-choice PAC Emily's List, which spends a ton of money, $76 million to elect abortion supporters in 2016 and 2018. The attack ad was tested despite Sanders' staunch support for abortion. The Vermont Center enjoys a 100% rating from NARAL. Emily's List confirmed the authenticity of the image, but deflected blame to a contractor. And we want to give you their statement, which was released. They said, earlier tonight, a script with our name on it was posted online. This script was drafted by a vendor, presumably leaked by vendor, has not been approved and has not been tested. That being said, every sophisticated political organization tests negative messages, whether you agree with them or not, because our job is to know what impact they will have on the race, wherever they come from. So presumably they're doing ads like this to be run against all of the candidates who are 100% in support of reproductive rights.
Yeah.
But probably not.
No. So if you don't know, and you wouldn't know unless you read or watched the progressive outlet, Emily's List is nominally for pro-choice, but the reality is they're one of the biggest establishment PACs there is. They almost always endorse the more conservative Democrat in primaries against the more progressive Democrat. In fact, a lot of money is sent to them because they're one of the very few organizations that get involved in primaries. And look, I don't want to say 9 out of 10 because I haven't done the full math on it, but The Intercept has, and you can see their stories, and you can see stories from other outlets. An overwhelming majority of the time, Emily's List will pick the person more right-wing against the person that is more left-wing. But a convenient cover is, well, the more right-wing person happens to be a woman. And it took them, look, you could tell in the ones that are super obvious. Marie Newman, they finally came around to it after it was so embarrassing that they weren't supporting her. Marie Newman is a Justice Democrat, very progressive, running against Dan Lipinski. Dan Lipinski is anti-choice, but he's a Republican through and through. All of his positions are the Republican positions. He was a Republican until the day he announced he was running for his dad's seat, who happened to be a Democrat. He moved from the South to Illinois and went, yeah, I guess I'm a Democrat. I still have all the same positions. The Democratic Party's like, great, who cares? Who cares about policy? All we care about is power. They put him in, and Emily's List wouldn't back Marie Newman last time around forever. And finally, after everybody's like, she's 100% pro-choice and a woman, and he's 100% anti-choice. They're like, God, we're caught, everybody. Red alert. We tested a negative ad against ourselves. It turns out it doesn't go well, and finally they went to Marie Newman. But that's just one example of so many across the country that they never go to the more progressive candidate unless they're caught completely red-handed. They go around, and so they'll put in hundreds of thousands of dollars into campaigns in the primaries to make sure progressives are defeated.
I like how they said at the end of their statement that whoever it is, they'll back them.
Oh, sure.
No, that's good. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be good because the alternative is Donald Trump, who is 100% dead set on overturning Roe v. Wade by choosing Supreme Court justices that are going to accomplish that. But before we even get to that step, we have this primary. And so hypothetically, these ads are still going to be run. There was nothing in their statement that told me that they weren't now going to go ahead with trying to torpedo Bernie Sanders' campaign, even though, again, 100% in support of the one issue that they say they are based around. But he's not the only person who's sort of involved in this in the primary. Bear in mind that Michael Bloomberg has contributed more than $5.8 million to Women Vote since 2012. Bloomberg headlined Emily's List's 2018 New York City convention, despite the fact that he had questioned the Me Too allegations against PBS's Charlie Rose that same week. And look, I've been doing research into Bloomberg's quotes concerning Me Too. They are at best questioning. I've never seen an unambiguous statement of belief in a woman's accusations against these powerful men that came about as a result of the Me Too movement.
He just talks about letting it go to court. Let it go to court, see how it plays out. The court will say what's right and what's wrong, if it really happened or not.
Exactly.
So it turns out there was millions of dollars given by Bloomberg to this organization, and then they're pretending that maybe Bernie Sanders is similar to Donald Trump on the issue of choice, even though he has a 100% rating. But probably a coincidence. Probably.
I want to see the ad. I'm interested in like the one picture that they showed where it's actually Sanders and everybody thinks it's Trump. But I would love to see like how they set it up. Like what is the setup that leads you to believe that it's actually talking about Trump? Because what are those similarities? That's what I want to know. How is this ad framed that it could convince anyone for a second that it's actually about Trump?
But when you stretch, you could find anything. Did you know in the 1970s, Bernie Sanders wrote one sentence that was questionable?
Or he criticized Hillary Clinton in 2016. I have a feeling that will be in there.
Yeah, and that is equivalent to Donald Trump's 43 allegations of sexual assault or sexual harassment.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I mean, we just finished talking about Michael Bloomberg and all of the stuff that he's alleged to have said about women or is in books that he said about women. I mean, one of the charges from this woman, and I would love for them to come out and just say that they don't believe this woman who launched this lawsuit, was he said when she told him that she was pregnant that she should kill it. How, and I'm not saying they haven't come out as far as I know and speaking favorably about Bloomberg, they haven't endorsed him or anything, but like you don't think that's coming? When it's an inconvenience for him in a business setting, he tells women to abort the babies they want to have, by the way. He tells them to kill it.
That would also be anti-choice.
Yeah.
You would think, yes.
Very anti-choice.
Yes.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.